good. You're waking up. I was afraid you had a concussion. Sorry, I don't know my own strength sometimes. Please don't struggle. If I have to tighten up your buns even more, it'll bruise your beautiful skin. I don't want that, so please don't make things harder for yourself than they already are. What's that? I can't hear you over the sound of your gagged whimpering. I'll make you a deal, okay? I'll remove the tape, but you have to promise not to scream. If you scream, I don't think you want to know about that, so please just don't. Where are we now? Don't worry, my love. We're at your house, as safe as a place as it can ever be. That's why I brought you here, to keep you safe, because I love you. And I don't want anyone to lay a finger on you. You must have so many questions right now. What am I doing here? Why are you doing this? Why did you tie me up? Why are you holding a large knife? I guess I do owe you an explanation. I want to tell you in the form of a story. It's our love story, in fact. I'll be happy to tell it to you if you promise to pay attention. We may be telling it to our kids one day. When I was in school, I was not a popular person by any means. I wasn't even considered the nerdiest kid in school. In fact, I was pretty generic. Faceless background character that blended into the crowd. If I talked to anyone I went to class with, they'd think I was a new student, not knowing that we've been in the same school district since kindergarten. Because of that, I didn't really end up making friends and kept to myself a lot. I had no friends or even acquaintances. My home life was no less lonesome. My parents worked a lot, and I was an only child. The only company I had was an endless string of changing babysitters. I got to the point in my life where I decided that loneliness was my burden to bear, and I became okay with that. The opportunity for something better came, and I took it. I got scholarships and an acceptance letter to the school I dreamed about going to. Finding a job in residence in a college town was just icing on the cake for me. Despite this big change, I still didn't make friends, even with the myriad of new people I came across. I could talk to people for a little, but I'd find some excuse to hide back into solitude. I felt I'd be this way for the rest of my life. That is, until I met you. My hobby growing up was always film and photography. The idea of a moment or a scene frozen for eternity in a picture or slide or film had some strange fascination for me. The money I saved up during high school allowed me to buy a small, cheap camera to practice with. It was small and nothing fancy, but it did the job. Later on, I upgraded to an Olympus TG5 with a 3-inch lens, and I was excited about testing it out. I tested it on campus when fall brushed over the school in autumn shades. The leaves turned color and started to fall, blanketing the courtyard in cold, dead leaves. I was taking a picture of the courtyard while people were still around, which added depth to the photos. I was deciding to build a collection revolving around the theme of campus culture. I was about to take a shot of the quad when you suddenly jumped into the line of my shot. I took the picture with you in it, and I admit, I did feel angry. I was angry because here I was minding my own business, taking pictures, and all of a sudden, some random person photo bombs my shot. I was cursing you out when I reviewed the picture. Deciding to delete it, you got into my personal space, your shoulder practically pushing against my body, and you say, "Looks like the perfect photo if I do say so myself," in a cocky voice. I looked at it and I paused. Your image smiled bubbly back at me, and I looked back to you. That photo of you did not do you justice. You were dressed so stylishly, blending with the shades of fall around you. Your smile highlighted your blemish-free complexion. Your hair and eyes were the perfect shade of hazel brown, and your voice was like a melody passing into my ears. "You can keep the picture if you want," you said cheerfully. I kept looking back at the picture of you and the real life you. "Thanks," I muttered incoherently. You told me your name and I gave you mine. I never had anyone be so friendly and nice to me from the start, especially someone as beautiful as you. You had to go, and I silently begged for you to stay. I stood there for I don't know how long before a cold, biting wind rocked me back into awareness. I went through the rest of the day on autopilot and all night with you on my mind. I never deleted that picture of you. In fact, I looked at it all evening. I was so enraptured by your beauty I couldn't concentrate on anything else. My heart was fluttering and my insides were churning. Every time I looked at you, my body reacted in a way I've never experienced before. This, I found out, had to be love, an emotion I've never experienced. I ended up looking you up and found out what I needed to know about you. You seem to have an account with every social media platform there was. I learned a lot about you. Your full name, your hobbies, your life story, places you've been, and even your contact information and where you live. There wasn't a thing I didn't know about you. Some urge had overtaken me to go to your address, but not get too close. I hid behind the trash bins while I tried to see you from the window. I dared myself to inch closer up to the glass to try to get a better look. I did manage to see you, sopping wet trying to dry off after getting out of the shower. But then the barking erupted from the house and I could see a dog barking at me from the window. Panic gave me fuel to run away, trying not to be seen by anybody else. I didn't stop until I got to my apartment, and even then I had to always look behind me to make sure the dog wasn't after me. I wanted to talk to you the next day, but I was too shy to even walk up to you. All I could always do if I saw you was admire you from afar. Whenever I was viewing you from a corner, I kept getting weird looks from everyone else on campus. They were looking at me like I was some sort of deviant. I never understood why. All I did was watch you, and I never saw the harm in that. While I was too shy to talk to you, I felt like I had to physically be near you. So I did the only thing that made sense to me. I went inside of your house after managing to pick the lock and tried to view your whole life. Your whole house smelled just like you upon entering. I was enjoying being in your presence in some way or the other. But then your dog shows up and starts growling at me again. I must admit, it was really pissing me off. I grabbed the mongrel by the collar and I bashed its face in with the aluminum bat that was in the corner. It gave off a couple of pain-filled yelps before going still and silent. Adrenaline passed through me while looking straight at the bloody mess. There the dog laid still, blood soaking its fur. For some reason or another, I ended up taking a photo of my deed. I could only imagine how you felt when you realized the dog was missing. But believe me, I had no choice. I cleaned up the mess, settling on using a black trash bag and assorted cleaning products so you wouldn't know I was there. I disposed of the bag, of course. After that, I spent time viewing the rest of your home. It was beautiful and so well kept. And The smell of you just hung in the air. I didn't know if it was your natural odor or the use of lotion or anything to make you smell so good, but it was intoxicating. It was everywhere, even your bed. I walked into your bedroom and I could smell you all over the sheets. I buried my face in them to get my fix. I was officially an addict and you had become my drug. I didn't pay enough attention to the time or my surroundings, but I suddenly heard the door open. I quickly ducked under the bed as silently as I made myself, and you were calling out your dog's name. You then entered your room and started to undress. I had to cover my mouth for fear of revealing my location to you. I could only see a few inches of your legs, but I followed you to the bathroom. The door was slightly open, but that was more than enough for me to see your full unclothed beauty. My eyes were fixated on every inch of your exposed skin. Your form was so perfect that I had begun to feel aroused and was about to pleasure myself just to the sight of you. What stopped me was the sound of the floorboard beneath me. You looked in my direction, and I hid behind the door. You never came to my direction. You just closed the door completely. I walked out of the front door as if it were my own home, and I went back to my actual home alone. There, in the privacy of my own room, I did pleasure myself. I found your email address and started sending you emails declaring my love for you and how I wanted to be with you. I even shared more photos of you that I took. You are so photogenic. I had also realized that your birthday was coming up. That gave me an idea for a new project. I kept following you from a safe distance while I prepared your surprise. All the while, you kept looking over your shoulder. You also had a nervous look on your face where your beautiful smile should be. There, you even have that horrified look on your face right now. I don't understand why you feel this way. Regardless, I kept observing you and you would always have some friends with you. I would view them with contempt, more than I've ever felt for anyone. I found out who they all were, and I know their dirty secrets. I've seen their illegal hobbies. I see them cheating on others. I knew everything. I told them all that unless they wanted their skeletons to be out of the closet, they should stay away from you. For a wonder, they did. You had been isolated for a while, much like I was. It pained me to do that to you, but I had to, darling. How do you know they wouldn't hurt you? I had to get rid of one of them in a particularly brutal way. I had gone by your house at nightfall, which at this point became my ritual. I saw another car in your driveway. I had gone by your house at nightfall, which at this point became my ritual. I saw another car in your driveway, one I did not recognize. With no dog to alert you to my presence, I peeked into the window and saw you on the verge of tears. I wanted so badly to comfort you, to tell you everything was okay. I wanted to walk through the door and embrace you and never let you go. Then I saw him. He was passing you a glass of water and massaging your back. You embraced him. My fists clenched so tightly they turned white from the lack of blood flow. I was seeing red from seething with rage. I wanted so badly to burst through the window and stomp his stupid face into the floor. But I collected myself and walked away while still feeling angry. I found out who he was and where I could always find him. Knowing where he worked and what time he got off, I waited until the right moment when I could confront him. I don't really remember what happened aside from a lot of pain-filled screaming, but when I came to, I was standing over a bloodied corpse. Quite a few of your friends had disappeared, didn't they? Your partner from class who gave you a ride? Your coworker who told you to file a police report? Your longtime best friend that you could always confide in? While never giving me a second thought. Yeah, I killed them. And believe you me, I know how to hide a body. Then came yesterday. It was finally your birthday. My present to you was finally ready. I walked to your house at night again and knocked at the door. I figured you were home. It's kind of hard to celebrate a birthday when everyone you knew is no longer around. I get that. I hid behind the bushes to wait for you to open the door. You opened it so slowly, as if you felt danger on the other side of the door. You looked down and found a beautifully wrapped square and a birthday card on it. Then you slammed the door without even picking it up. Needless to say, I was shocked that you didn't even bring it inside. A couple minutes later, I noticed flashing red and blue lights coming down the street, and a police cruiser pulled into your driveway. I couldn't believe it. You had called the police because I gave you a present? Who does that? 2 officers exited the vehicle and approached your front door, noticing your birthday present on the porch. You opened up and pointed to it. One of them inspected it before opening it. I guess he thought it was a bomb or something. He opened it and found out what it really was. A photo album. It was full of pictures I had taken of you. I took them inside and outside of your house. I added pieces of me to your photos so it felt like we were there together. I had also taken photos of those close to you. The living ones had red X marks on their faces, meaning they weren't in your life anymore. I also took them of your dead friends. They took the album with them and drove off. I was so hot and angry that I began to hyperventilate. So, this was how you repaid me for my love and devotion? I would have protected you, died for you, and even killed for you. And this is what I get? Inside, I noticed you were running around gathering things together, packing them in a suitcase. Were you trying to leave me? First, you call the cops, and then you're leaving me? You were unable to open the car door before I knocked you out with the tool of my love for you, my camera. A large sacrifice to me, but one I was willing to make. Now here we are. I tied your hands and feet together so you couldn't get away. I taped your mouth shut so you don't scream for help. I want to know why you do this to me. Why are you doing this to me? The one who loves you more than anything else in this world. Oh, me? I'm crazy. Am I? I guess I can't get you to love me back. Willingly, that is. Darling, you know I wouldn't hurt you physically, but that doesn't mean I won't mentally break you. I'll have to put you in the basement for a while, but before I do, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I know where the bodies of your friends are. I've been keeping them here in your house. They've been in the basement the whole time. That smell you must have been noticing is them. You didn't seem to use it that often, so the basement seemed like the best place to put them. You see, there's your best friend there. Your classmate is in the corner over here. That guy that hugged you is also over there. And there's your dog. I'm afraid it's been here too long and it rotted, but what can you do? At least you won't get lonely down here. I made sure of that. I set them up right so they can look at you. I love you, darling, and I would do anything for you. Anything.